Hello there and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to put out a quick news update video and update you guys on some things that I have seen this week, as well as give an update on the DJI Go 4 app situation that I talked about a few weeks ago. Now, before I get into this, I'd just like to say, if you like what you see, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. If you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links in the description. And if you want to support us on a regular basis, we do now have a Patreon page, and users of that Patreon page also have access to our new Discord server where you're able to talk to me in the background on a more regular basis. Anyway, the first thing I want to talk about today is the DJI Go 4 app for Android. A few weeks ago, I put out a video talking about the report that was released by Synactive raising some security concerns. Now, before I actually just get into that, I do want to say that these were issues that were potential, and no one has actually said that there were actually dodgy things going on as this report potentially highlighted. Now, shortly after that, DJI released a statement, and that was seen pretty much in all of the media outlets. However, what did go under the radar was the fact that DJI had updated the app shortly after this report was released, resolving these issues. Now, this new version of the Go 4 app for Android was actually released on the 31st of July, and I've been told that it resolves the issues raised in the Synactive report. Now, further to this, Synactive have come out and put a new report out with regards to the DJI Pilot app and raising some similar security concerns. With regards to this one, DJI actually deny totally that it has the Weeboo application installed, because it doesn't. It's not part of the Go app, the Pilot app. And further to that, they actually say that yes, the version of Pilot does have the ability to be updated, that is downloaded from the DJI store. However, the version of the Pilot app that is downloaded from the Google Play Store does not have this update feature, and it's in there specifically for regions that don't have access to the Google Store. Now, this actually does make a lot of sense, because the reality is the Google Play Store and the Apple Store isn't available in every country of the world, and there are some issues in certain regions around using it, and DJI do make their app available directly to these markets, and as a result of that, they're going to need to make it available to be updated via the app as well. Now, what I do want to highlight in this is, whilst there was quite a lot of noise, and myself put out a video about the issues in the app, what really did go quite quiet was the fact that DJI have now addressed this. So if you are a user of the Go 4 app on Android, if you have the latest version, these vulnerabilities that were brought up by the Synactive report have been resolved. Now, for me, talking about this whole situation was simply about providing people with the best information I could possibly do. I don't really care what country of origin a product comes for, whether it is USA, China, European. What I look at is whether something is good enough and whether I can recommend it to people. And when I talked about this on the channel, it was from the perspective of user data being important no matter who the company is, and I would hold all companies to the same standard. I generally don't fall in for the usual USA, China rhetoric that is quite high on the political situation at the moment. As DJI have updated this and the issues have been resolved, I see no reason why people can't use the Go app on their Android device. But what I would say is this: if you've got a device where you value your security, I would not install any app that you are concerned about, and that includes social media apps as well. And I would use a clean device, and I wouldn't be treating the DJI app any different from some of the other more known social media apps that are out there on the market. So, as I said, the Go 4 app has been updated, and it should be said that DJI really did action these changes very quickly, and they should be thanked for doing that as well, because people are quick enough to give companies a kicking when they do something wrong, but you should also highlight it when they do something right as well. Now, one last thing I do want to add to this bit is about this Synactive report, and actually who is commissioning this stuff, because in recent months we have seen a whole slew of new aircraft from Skydio as well as Parrot, and it does raise a number of questions of who is actually funding this look into the DJI Go app, and is there any other motives behind the information that's being shared. Now, clearly user privacy and user data must be taken and dealt with properly at all times. However, there would be some concerns raised if one of DJI's competitors was funding this research, because what we have already seen is, whilst some interesting and valid information was shared with regards to the Go 4 app, with regards to the pilot app, this information does not appear to be quite correct. And we're getting the situation of a mixture between accurate and inaccurate data. And that then becomes a very dangerous situation. And then people are left not knowing what to actually believe and what isn't true. So here and now, we got to wait and see how all of this goes. Again, data privacy is absolutely paramount, and it is important that these issues are addressed. However, it does appear there could be more to these reports than meets the eye, and it would be interesting to find out who is actually paying for this stuff right now and who is paying for this investigation to happen. Because if it is a competitor, are they being checked? Because remember, everyone should be taken and hit with the same level of scrutiny. And whilst DJI may have had their issues, that isn't to say others don't have them as well. So we're going to have to see where this all ends up. So that's it for me on that one. I did put a larger statement out on this, as I've said, and if you're interested in that, check it out on the channel. I'll put a link to it in the description as well. It's under the, I think it's under the social page, or it's on the part of the channel that you can get to, and it is on there if you want to read it more. Now, further to that statement from DJI, there are a couple of other things I want to talk about. The next one is the Robomaster EP. DJI appear to have made this available now for education purposes in the rest of the world. They sent out an email to people in the start of the week saying that there's a new education program, and the Robomaster EP is now available as part of this. Now, you can't actually go and order this directly on the DJI website. It appears that you do need to register and tell them what you want to do with it, tell them what you intend to play with, and if you're an education institution or a sole user. I've actually now done this, and I'm waiting to hear back from DJI myself, because I do want to order one of these new Robomaster models to have a look at. The Robomaster S1 was a fantastic start. However, it was severely limited, and as with all of these things, when you tend to see a Generation 1 and a Generation 2 product, the Robomaster EP pretty much did everything, or does everything, I should say, that I want my S1 to do. And it is frustrating that I cannot upgrade my S1, which is behind me over there, as you can see. It is very frustrating that I cannot update this to actually do this stuff. However, I am really interested in taking a look at the new EP and having a look at it and seeing what it's like on this channel. So I have reached out to DJI via the official system. As soon as I know more on this, I will let you guys know, but it is now going to be available for educational purposes, and it does seem that anyone will be able to order it after a bit of time as well, hopefully. So I will keep you updated on that one. The final thing I want to mention is around the DJI FPV, because today there has been a leaked image which appears to show a DJI FPV aircraft. Now, this doesn't really show a lot, and I'll put a picture of it on screen now so you can actually see it. However, this does appear to show something that might be coming in the future. Now, to me, this is not a surprise at all. The reality is I've been expecting DJI to make some form of FPV racing aircraft for some time. I don't think this is going to be as simple as an FPV craft to just go out and fly. If you look at what DJI have done with the Robomaster system, they've built up an ecosystem and a competition in China where people actually battle them to win places and even jobs at DJI. And personally, if DJI do release an aircraft, I think they will create something like that, and maybe a DJI racing series or something along those lines. Now, this is purely speculation on my part, because I just don't see DJI releasing an aircraft that anyone can buy for no good reason other than just doing it, because I'm not convinced having the DJI badge on it alone is a reason for people to buy it with regards to FPV. Now, it is clear from the FPV system that it has made a massive impact on the FPV community, and DJI are wanting to capitalize on that. And I think in the not too distant future, we might see DJI release a racing series and this aircraft be part of that, a little bit like the Drone Racing League and things like that. So we'll have to see what happens. When there is more info on this aircraft, I will share it with you, but all we have at the moment is this picture. Now, finally, with regards to FPV, really, I want to talk about Fat Shark, because this week Fat Shark have released some updated info on their Frostbite system. Now, for those who don't know what Frostbite is, it is the second version of their Bite Frost, their digital system. Now, Bite Frost really was a beta product more than anything. It was sold in small numbers. It wasn't perfect. It had some issues. I think it's fair to say that DJI took them by surprise when they released the product at just how mature and how capable the digital FPV system has been. And since then, DJI have absolutely been smashing it with the updates, including the new 50 megabits a second as well, which has really made this system almost perfect for most people. However, Fat Shark are not down and out, and they have been quietly working away in the background, getting ready to release Frostbite. Now, there were some issues with the early versions, and I think it's Greg at Fat Shark has openly said that they've had some issues with heat. However, it does appear that they have now got on top of this, and they're moving forward and sending some early units out to people. Now, they have also put some footage online showing what it's like, and I will show you that and share that with you guys in the description of the video as well. Now, there are no confirmed dates or timescales on when this new system is going to be available, but if you have been waiting for Fat Shark to do something, they are certainly not down and out, and we're going to see something from them in the near future. Now, I am hoping to get my hands on this system. I don't know how, I don't know which way I'm going to be able to make it happen. If Fat Shark, you are watching, please do reach out to me. I would love to be able to showcase and show it on the channel, to be able to talk about it on the technical side, as well as show people some of it in action as well. Now, before I finish this video up, I just wanted to talk to you guys a bit about some content that I'm going to be releasing in the near future. I have quite a lot in the pipeline because I've had quite a lot of stuff turning up recently to be able to talk about. Things have been a bit quieter in the earlier part of the year, but it's that time of year where everyone's getting back up and running again. We're going to have my review of the Robomaster coming very, very shortly. And alongside that, I'm going to be taking a look at the Here 3 new GPS from CubePilot, as well as talking about the Here Plus RTK system as well. And we're going to actually be demonstrating that and doing some how-to videos on how to put that together too. I've got the review of the Brave 7 camera, which is the same as a GoPro or an Osmo Action. I've got the Dragon Touch 10-inch tablet I'm going to review, and the reason I'm doing a review on a tablet is I haven't used a tablet for probably 2 to 3 years, and whilst I've mostly been using my Crystal Sky for my DJI gear, having seen that pretty much reach end of life, I wanted to see what options there were out there that weren't the price of an iPad, and for me, I think the Dragon Touch is quite an interesting option, so we're going to be taking a look at that one as well. I've also got some reviews coming up on some new gear for my camera equipment, some tripod reviews, because I've done 1 or 2 tripod reviews before, and I've also got some how-to videos coming out, a new soldering video. Now, I did soldering live on last week's live stream, and I've actually put a dedicated video together for that now because I think it's quite an interesting subject. And I will also be getting back on top of the Ardra Pilot videos, talking about the remote setup in the craft as well as the other ones. And then we've got the DJI videos to come with regards to the FPV system, and if I can get my hands on a Robomaster EP, I will be talking to you guys about that one as well. So that is pretty much it from me. As I said at the start of this video, if you have liked what you've seen, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. If you would like to support us, please do check out the links in the description. There's links to DJI, there's links to a couple of other companies as well. Some of them are affiliate links, but it is only by you guys using them am I able to keep making content. Finally, as I have already said, we have a new Patreon account. If you'd like to support us on a regular basis, please do check that out. And you also have access to my new Discord server as well. Now, I will be on the live stream with Gary and Bruce if he isn't in jail on Tuesday. That's it for this one. Take it easy, please stay safe, and I will release a new video shortly.